You ever feel like the anointing on your life is just heavy, like the weight of the call is pressing so hard on your chest that even breathing feels like warfare? You know God chose you, you know He's with you, but sometimes it feels like the assignment is crushing the very soul He placed in you. Let me tell you something, chosen one. You're not broken. You're being built. The heaviness you feel isn't punishment, it's preparation, because God doesn't place oil on empty vessels. He anoints the ones who've been through something, the ones who've crawled through hell but kept their worship, the ones who've cried in silence but still said, "Nevertheless, Lord, not my will, but yours be done." See, when the anointing feels heavy, that's a sign that God trusts you. He knows what's inside of you because He placed it there. He knows your capacity, even when you doubt it. He knows the enemy's been watching, but guess what? So has heaven. This season isn't about how strong you are, it's about how surrendered you're willing to be. Because if God called you to it, He's already gone ahead of you in it. You're not walking into unknown territory, you're walking into prophetic destiny. And I know, the silence can be deafening. When God stops speaking and all you hear are the echoes of your own doubts. But let me remind you, when the teacher is silent, it's usually because you're in the middle of the test. Not to fail you, but to reveal you. You've been called, set apart, consecrated for something bigger than just comfort and convenience. You were anointed to carry weight that most people would collapse under. And that's why it feels heavy. Not because you're weak, but because you're trusted. Let me talk to the women for a minute. Sis, the enemy's been after you since birth, trying to break your confidence, silence your voice, distort your beauty, confuse your identity. Why? Because he knows the power of a woman walking in her divine calling. He knows what happens when you heal, rise up, and stop playing small. You're not just emotional. You're prophetic. You're not just too much. You're mantled for nations. You weren't made to be hidden. You were made to shift atmospheres. That weight you feel, that's not weakness. That's glory pressing through your bones. Now let me speak to the men. My brothers, it's not just about leadership. It's about spiritual legacy. You were designed to be a covering, a warrior, a gatekeeper. And that's why the enemy attacks you in silence. He wants your mental health, your self-worth, your belief in yourself, because if he can discourage the man, he can distort the whole household. But listen, you're not alone. There's a lion inside of you, and that roar is awakening. The world has enough men chasing success. We need more men chasing surrender. We need men who know how to weep in worship and war in prayer. Men who protect women, who disciple their children, who cast down demons not just on Sunday, but in their own living rooms. And you, yes you, are called to be that kind of man. This anointing is weighty because it shifts bloodlines. It doesn't just bless you, it redeems your last name. You're not carrying the weight alone. God is lifting with you, breathing in you, backing you up with angels. So when the anointing feels heavy, don't run. Don't hide. Don't numb it with distractions or bury it under fake strength. Bring it to the altar. Lay the heaviness down like Jesus did in Gethsemane. He didn't fake it. He didn't suppress it. He sweat blood and still said, "Not my will." And because of that surrender, we now have salvation. So when you feel like quitting, remember who's watching. Your kids, your future spouse, your spiritual brothers and sisters, the people assigned to your testimony. Because your life isn't just about you. It's about who God is revealing through you. The oil on your life has purpose. It has weight. But that weight is holy. That pressure is birthing oil that hell cannot counterfeit. You're becoming the version of yourself that only pressure could unlock. You're becoming unshakable. You're becoming fearless. You're becoming the kind of vessel God can pour through without spilling. So let the oil flow. Let the weight mold you, not crush you. Let the anointing press you deeper into His presence. Because listen, you were built for this. You were graced for this. You were born for this generation, not by accident, but by divine design. And when the weight gets too heavy to carry, lift your hands, because worship is your weapon and surrender is your strength. Now drop this in the comments if your spirit caught fire during this word. The anointing may feel heavy, but I'm built for it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because every week we're lighting the match that sets your spirit ablaze. This is Sugar Bytes News, where faith meets fire and revival is not just what we say, it's who we are. Team Jesus, let's ride.